Hello and welcome. I'm Fernando, a GP in the UK. Today, I'm not covering a clinical topic as usual, but instead, I'm going to introduce a new idea for these episodes. Here's the idea. AI-generated voices will take part in discussions about various clinical topics. This is just a trial. I'll still be creating episodes the traditional way in both video and podcast formats, so stay tuned for those. To give you a quick preview, I'll now hand things over to the AI voices to explain more about this concept. If you find it useful, I'll keep it going.
Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. Today, we're diving into Practical GP, a YouTube channel about making evidence-based primary care guidelines accessible. And the big thing is it's going to use AI voices. It's the brainchild of Dr. Fernando Florido. He's a UK-based GP, over 30 years experience.
Yeah, it's really quite innovative using AI like that to break down all those, dense guidelines, making them into these digestible videos. It's like having this pocket guide. All the best practices, but you can listen to them.
As healthcare professionals, we're always getting bombarded. New guidelines, research can be really overwhelming to keep up. I'm curious, what's Fernando's motivation for using AI? Is it all about efficiency, or is there something more to it?
I think he's definitely aiming for accessibility. Reach a wider audience. Imagine you can just quickly grasp these key points from a new guideline, on your commute, or during a break.
Oh, that's so convenient. But I have to say, AI voices for medical information, it's a little, unusual. Can we really trust that it's accurate? This is people's health we're talking about.
I see your point. It's a valid concern, but the thing is, Fernando actually checks every script. It's not like the AI is making things up. It's this text-to-speech AI. Really good for clear, concise delivery. So it's basically just voicing what Fernando has already carefully compiled.
So it's like a personalized audio version of his notes. Okay, that does make me feel a bit better. But what if there's a mistake with the AI?
Well, just like anyone, AI can make slip-ups, right? Maybe pronounce something a bit weird, or the subtitles could be slightly off. But Fernando is super committed to accuracy. He said he'll fix any errors straight away. It's all about giving reliable information. He's taking that responsibility very seriously.
It's good to hear. I mean, we're all human, right? Even with decades of medical experience, mistakes happen. It's how you handle them that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've got a seasoned GP, passionate about accuracy. Using cutting-edge technology to share his knowledge, I am intrigued. But tell me, who is this Dr. Fernando? What's his story?
Well, one of the first things you notice is his dedication to guidelines. As healthcare professionals, we know they're essential, right? Consistent, evidence-based care. But sometimes they can be a bit dry to actually read through.
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely been there, wading through all those pages. Technical language. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Exactly. That's where Practical GP really shines. Fernando takes all those guidelines and he just distills them down into these concise, easy to understand summaries. It's like having a colleague, right? Explaining the key points, but in plain language. Only this colleague, he has an AI voice.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So he's not just reading the guidelines word for word. He's adding his own insights, his experience. But What about the evidence-based part? What does that actually mean for us, the listeners?
Oh, that's a great question. So evidence-based means these guidelines. They're not just someone's opinion. They've been research tested really rigorously. So you can trust the information. It's reliable. It's up to date. It's about providing the best possible care based on the latest scientific findings.
So it's like having a safety net. Knowing that the advice, it's all backed by solid research, that's reassuring, especially when you're making those clinical decisions. But I am still curious about the format of these videos. You said they're faceless, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You want to see Fernando on screen. Might seem a bit odd at first, but
yeah.
It actually makes a lot of sense. It lets you focus on the information itself, no distractions. Plus, some people find it easier to learn that way, just the information, without the talking head.
Yeah, I get that. It's like listening to a podcast, You can create your own image of the speaker in your head. It's about the content, not the personality. But speaking of personality, I have to say, I did chuckle when I read about the AI subtitles, the potential for those spelling quirks.
Oh, absolutely. It's those little imperfections, right? They make it feel more human. Even with all this advanced technology, there's still room for the unexpected.
It's like the AI is saying, hey, I'm doing my best here, but I'm not perfect. Adds a touch of humor, makes the whole thing more approachable. Okay, let's get down to the practical stuff. What kind of content can listeners actually expect from Practical GP?
Well, Fernando covers a wide range of topics, all primary care stuff, common conditions like diabetes, hypertension, but also latest guidelines on mental health. He even revisits popular topics, presents them in this new interactive discussion format.
Hold on, interactive discussions. How does that even work with AI voices?
It's actually pretty clever. He uses different AI voices.
Yeah.
Creates this back and forth dialogue, almost like you're listening to two doctors talking. This helps break down the complex information, makes it into smaller, more digestible chunks.
So it's not just passively listening to a lecture. It's more engaging, like you're part of the learning process. I like that. It seems like he's really thought about how to make this stick.
Yeah, exactly. And he's really keen on feedback too. Encourages listeners to leave comments on YouTube, suggest topics they'd like him to cover, like having a direct line.
That's amazing. So it's not a one-way street. He's shaping the content based on what his listeners actually need and want to learn. I'm impressed.
He's really committed to this collaborative learning thing. It's about empowering healthcare professionals, right? Stay informed, provide the best possible care for their patients. But, it's important to remember, this is all for educational purposes only.
Right, of course. We're all responsible for staying updated, making informed decisions based on each individual patient's needs. This isn't meant to replace clinical judgment or a doctor's expertise.
Absolutely. It's about supplementing our knowledge, providing a framework, to help understand the latest evidence, like having a trusted guide in this ever-evolving world of healthcare. And Fernando, he's independent, not affiliated with any particular organization or guideline-producing body.
That's good to know. So he's coming at this from a neutral perspective, offering his own interpretation. It's not about pushing any particular agenda. So where does all of this lead us? Where's the best place to access all this information? Well, it sounds like it's all about access, right? Reaching as many healthcare professionals as possible. So I'm guessing he's on all the usual podcast platforms then.
He is, but he really encourages everyone to engage with the content on YouTube if they can. That's where he really focuses his efforts. Plus, it helps support the channel. Creating all this content takes time and resources.
Right, that makes sense. And YouTube's a great platform for, discussion and community building. People can leave comments, ask questions, all that. It creates a real sense of interaction.
Exactly. And it gives Fernando valuable feedback too. He can actually shape the channel's direction, based on what his audience is interested in. It's win-win. Listeners get the content they want, and he knows he's meeting their needs.
I love that it's such a collaborative approach. It's refreshing to see. It's funny, when we first started talking about AI voices, I was a bit skeptical, I have to admit. But the more I hear about practical GP, the more I see the potential.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I think what makes it work is he's using AI to enhance his expertise, not replace it. Fernando is still the one driving the content, carefully choosing the information, making it relevant for us.
It's like he's found this sweet spot between technology and human knowledge.
Yeah.
Innovative, efficient, and clearly it's resonating with people. But it does make you think about the future of medical education, doesn't it?
It does. Makes you wonder, how else can we use AI?
Yeah.
To improve knowledge sharing, professional development? What are the possibilities? And, what about the ethical considerations? It's a conversation we need to have as we, navigate this new landscape.
Absolutely. And it's a conversation we can all be part of. So if you're a healthcare professional and you're looking for a way to stay updated, titles, I highly recommend checking out Practical GP.
Yeah, you'll find the link in the show notes. Give it a listen. Let us know your thoughts. Let's keep this conversation going about the future of medical education.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of Practical GP. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.